to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Caitlin and I hope you're having a lovely day. So today's video, I thought I would just have a chat about how and why I gave up fast fashion, and also I'm going to be giving you guys tips on how you can shop more sustainably, dress more sustainably, and ways in which you can do this for as cheap as possible, but I will get into costs and everything. This video isn't me, you know, lecturing you, telling you how to live your life at all. It's not that. I just thought I would share my personal, you know, experience with it, give you guys some facts, just some things to like think about. I understand that being able to shop completely sustainably is a privilege and it can be like more expensive and stuff, so I just wanted to do this video just to, I guess, give you guys some info in case you've been thinking about it and you're just not sure how to go about it. But yeah, again, this is not me trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm just here to spill the sustainability on fast fashion and give you the facts. So if you don't know, fast fashion is basically cheap and trendy clothing that basically samples ideas from the catwalk or celebrity culture. It basically turns them into clothing for high street stores at an incredibly high rate. Some fast fashion stores that you might know of are like Boohoo, which owns like Pretty Little Thing, and like another one, I can't remember. Topshop as well is another one, River Island. Like basically all high street shops are fast fashion. To give you guys some backstory, I actually gave up fast fashion towards the end of 2019. I watched the documentary The True Cost and that really like got to me, and then I did some more of like my own research, and just seeing like the impact it was having on the climate and how many people it was exploiting just like really made me feel guilty anytime I would buy something new. I think I still had bought a couple like fast fashion things after I watched The True Cost, but I just felt so bad, so I was like, do you know what, I'm just gonna give this up. To be honest, even when I was shopping from fast fashion, I would always go to charity shops a lot. I've been buying clothes on Depop for like years, so I was doing like sustainable shopping, but just alongside shopping from fast fashion as well. I loved all the clothes that I had bought from like Depop or charity shops, so I kind of just thought, you know what, I can just do that and it's fine. I just feel like to boycott these companies is like my own way of like trying to make a change. Obviously I'm only one person, but at the end of the day it is the company's responsibility to make a change. That is like the end goal, but boycotting them was like my own little way of just like trying to make a change. Literally everything I bought this year is from Depop or charity shops, but I will go into more detail later on in this video about different ways that you can shop sustainably and buy like some really cool clothes. You can still stay in trend, guys. So I've got some like quick fire facts that I'm just gonna tell you. In the UK, each person buys an average of 26.7 kilograms of clothes every year. Every year, global emissions from textile production are equivalent to 1.2 billion tons of carbon dioxide. This outweighs the carbon footprint of international flights and shipping as well, like combined. The average person owns 115 items of clothing, but 30% of that is not worn and hasn't been worn for like a year. In the UK, 140 million pounds worth of clothing goes to landfill every year. 9 out of 10 workers in Bangladesh interviewed said that they cannot afford enough food for them and their families, forcing them to skip meals or go into debt. 7,000 litres of water is needed to make one pair of jeans. This is like equal to the amount of water that a person would drink in 6 years. So yeah, quite a substantial amount. So fast fashion companies are designing clothes that on purpose will like fall apart or go out of fashion really quickly to force you to buy more clothes. Things are going like in and out of trend at like the highest rate ever, meaning that a lot of us end up having things in our wardrobe that were once in trend and now aren't, and we just never wear them. For example, I remember when neon was like really in trend. I bought like quite a lot of neon stuff and I just don't wear it anymore. Obviously fast fashion companies sell clothes for like an extremely cheap price, but that doesn't stop people spending hundreds of pounds on clothes from there. Like you see all those like hauls on YouTube, like I spent £1,000 on Boohoo, or I spent, you know, £500 on Pretty Little Thing. And to like spend that amount of money in places like that, you have to buy a lot of clothes, and like realistically, what are you actually going to be wearing from that online order for like a substantial amount of time? So the next thing I wanted to talk about is how fast fashion is a race issue. With the Black Lives Matter movement, I think the conversation with this has opened up a lot more, and I feel like a lot of brands have now been exposed for their treatment towards black people and people of colour. The production of fast fashion is, at the end of the day, a humanitarian issue when people are being exploited like this. The fast fashion industry relies on systematic discrimination, meaning that those who make the clothes don't get access to the same rights as the people wearing the clothes. Only an estimated 2% of factory workers for fast fashion actually earn a living wage. I don't know if you've seen what's been going on recently with these fast fashion brands. The brand In The Style sold like a slogan tee on their website claiming to support Black Lives Matter. Meanwhile, the garment workers actually making this t-shirt, which are majority people of colour, are being exploited and abused in sweatshops like making these cheap clothes, so it just doesn't make sense. And currently 40 million garment workers are earning less than £3 a day, which is just ridiculous. There's a reason why the clothes are so cheap. It's because their workers aren't getting paid fairly. These fast fashion brands are calling out injustice despite their whole business model being unjust. So this is just even more reason to boycott these companies until they make a change. I have definitely seen more conversation about this on social media, and I know it will eventually die down, but we just have to keep this momentum going. We can't stop talking about this. We can't stop talking about the Black Lives Matter movement until we see change. I will be linking resources in the description as well. I think my eyes have been opened even more recently to how much of a humanitarian issue this is and how much of a race issue it is as well. So yeah, I do urge you to do some research. It's not just fast fashion brands, you do have to be careful. It's just come out recently about Reformation, which up until now has been a very popular clothing brand as it's, you know, sustainable and ethical. But recently a former employee has come out with her story. The employee actually said, I'll read like what she said. I worked at Reformation as an assistant manager to no manager for over a year, while you consistently hired white women with the same or less qualifications as me over me. To this day, you have people of colour working important titles that you refuse to let them actually have. This is why it's important to really do your research. So there's some steps that we can take to like try and combat this issue. Call out racist and unethical brands and interrogate them about their in-house anti-racist policies. Donate to black organisations and garment worker funds. I will link some down below. Support the groups committed to, you know, trying to make a change with this. I will link them down below as well. Support black owned sustainable brands. I will link some as well. So the next thing I want to talk about is ways in which you can change your mindset about clothing so you can, you know, take the steps to making your wardrobe more sustainable. I understand the mindset behind buying, like going on Pretty Little Thing and doing like a massive order because everything's so cheap and you think you're saving money. When I was doing my A-levels last year, when I would have like a really stressful like bad day at school, I'd come home and I'd do like a massive order of clothes. I would think it would make me feel better. It would make me feel better probably for like this amount of time, but then as soon as the clothes actually came, that like joy I got from ordering the clothes would just like disappear, and honestly it would just make me feel even more overwhelmed by the amount of like clutter in my wardrobe of like clothes that I just wouldn't wear. So just try and like change your mindset. Remember that like dopamine like that it's giving you is temporary. In the long run, it's actually much better to spend more money buying less clothes that are of high quality, that you actually really like, that you're gonna wear all the time. Obviously there are sustainable brands that are slightly more expensive, but there is a reason for that. The quality is often of a much higher standard. The workers are getting paid a fair wage, they have a small carbon footprint, and because it's more money, you're more likely to think about that purchase a lot more and not just impulse buy, meaning you're more likely to wear that item of clothing for a much longer period of time and it's going to be in your wardrobe for years. You don't need that many clothes. I feel like it's so overwhelming when you have like so many clothes because you have so many clothes but nothing to wear. We've all been there. I have sold a lot of the stuff that I don't wear anymore, and since I've been buying less, I find it a lot easier to pick out an outfit because there isn't so many clothes that I just feel like so overwhelmed by it. When you're shopping for clothes, like try and just think about it more. Don't just buy something because it's in trend. Trends don't last a long time. Try and buy things because you like it. Don't just wear something that is in trend and it's not going to be fashionable in a week's time, you know? I think changing your mindset is like a big thing. There are a lot of amazing sustainable brands out there. I use the app, you've probably heard of this, but I use the app Good On You, and it basically is a really useful app to see which brands are sustainable and what they are doing to be more sustainable, like steps they've taken and stuff like that. They don't have every single brand, but it is helpful, and if they don't have a brand that you're not sure about, you can just Google it and do your own research. Some of my favorite sustainable brands, by the way, I normally get my clothes on Depop or from charity shops or like kilo sales, so every now and again I'll treat myself to something from one of these sustainable brands. So the brands I have written down are We Are Tala. They sell like workout clothes and it's Grace Beverly's brand. It's like really high quality. Lucy and Yak, Koi trainers, Carewears as well as another really nice brand. Demco jeans. They have like an Instagram shop. It's basically all jeans that have been made from like recycled denim, or like jeans, vintage jeans that have been like upcycled. It's honestly one of my favorite shops. I think I'm going to treat myself to a pair of jeans from there. Yeah, I've been loving them recently. In terms of like the most sustainable options, I mean, there are a lot of things you can do. You can wear clothes you already have, you can wear your mum's clothes. This is actually my mum's. You could just wear no clothes. That's good for the environment. I think my favorite way to buy sustainably is definitely Depop. It's just so easy. You can search for literally what you want in the search bar. It's really easy. You can filter it down to like your size. Once you like have been shopping on there for a while, you have like a recommended page where it will like recommend you stuff based on things you've bought and items that you've liked. I can just go on the app, go on my recommended page, and 9 times out of 10 I'll see something that I really love. Buying secondhand is the best thing because the process has already been done. It's not adding anything to carbon footprint. Honestly, there are like enough clothes in the world. We don't need to be making all these clothes because there are just already enough clothes in the world. Another way I like to shop sustainably that I do quite a lot is charity shopping. A lot of people seem to have trouble with charity shopping in the UK. A lot of people have told me like, oh, I found it so hard to like find something nice. The thing is with charity shops, if you're gonna do it, you have to like go all in, like don't half-ass it. When I go into a charity shop, I don't leave until I have gone down every single aisle and literally flicked through every single item of clothing, and I check every section. I go to the kids section, the men's section. I literally check every single section in the charity shop, and I always seem to find something nice, and I genuinely think it's because when I go, like I spend a lot of time in there. Like you can't just go in. It's not like with like fast fashion stores like Topshop. You can go in and because everything's laid out so nicely, you can just like spend like 10 minutes in there and you'll probably see something you like. But with charity shopping, like you do have to rummage. But I see it as like a nice day out, to be honest. Like I really look forward to it. I've really been missing charity shops during lockdown, and I find it very therapeutic actually to just like listen to a podcast while I'm like flicking through the clothes. Also, I would recommend trying things on as well, so you can get an idea of like how you can style it and if you like it. Also, if something it doesn't quite fit, I would really recommend like trying to get into upcycling. You can really just get creative with it. I just think it's so much more interesting to buy secondhand because you're finding things that like no one else has really, and it's just so much more interesting to like express yourself that way rather than just wearing something from Urban Outfitters that like everyone else has. Another good thing to do if you're in the UK is go to kilo sales. I know there's a lot in London. You basically go, I think you have to pay entry at the door of like £3 or something, and then it's like £10 to £15 for a kilo, so you can fill up your bag with as many clothes as you want. You pay by kilo. I would say as well, just like try to think about your clothes as like an investment, and try and ask yourself if you think you're gonna be wearing this for a good amount of years. I know so many people that will just order stuff from fast fashion, wear it once, won't even take the label off, and then send it back. But by sending it back is actually harming the environment even more, because the majority of clothes that are returned to fast fashion online only stores aren't resold. They just go straight to the landfill. It's just like causing even more damage to the environment. Like I said before, I would really recommend just getting creative with it. If you know you have some spare time, I would really recommend just like trying to do some like upcycling. There are so many YouTube videos out there. I've got one coming very soon. It's a thrift flip video, and there are so many out there. Yeah, I think that's kind of everything I wanted to talk about. And honestly, I love my wardrobe so much more now. I think it's so much more like unique, more fun, and like I feel like I can express myself and personality really well with the clothes that I have bought secondhand. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully it just gave you some food for thought. Again, I'm not telling you how to live your life. You do you. Yeah, I guess just something to think about. If you have like any favorite like places that you like to shop sustainably, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.